lesson 4 review because we didn't spend enough time as yet that we needed to on yesterday's lesson, okay? So our learning target for today, same as yesterday's. Eyes up here, ready? Today I will use exponents so that I can denote powers of 10 with application to metric conversions. So yesterday on the problem set, we ended with using powers of 10 in the equation to be able to convert measurements, okay? So I will know that I have it when I can answer. Eyes are up here when I'm reading. Dylan, Elia, you have to be watching me. Thank you. Thomas, thank you. 2 meters equals blank centimeters. 40 millimeters equals blank meters. Okay, so first, let's remember how many powers of 10 are in these, okay? So you're going to write it on your board. Ready? Yes, hurry up.
Do I need to finish this?
Yeah, but not yet. Thank you. Okay, write it down. 1,000 equals. Write it down. Write it down. 1,000 equals 10 to the power of what? Whiteboard, write it down.
10 to the power.
And then hold it up so I can see your answer. 10 to the power of what? So what is the exponent for how many 10s are in 1,000?
I know it.
Hold it up so I can see it.
The same as the rest of your classmates, more than the rest of your classmates, or less than the rest of your classmates? More, right? Because you're less.
I should wear my glasses.
So here's the deal. Okay, try the next one. So sometimes when you get in tricky problems at the back, you need help, right? And try the next one, Ariana. But I'm going to show you how to get.
So 10,000 equals 10 to the power of.
But there's a few things that you might get to know. So
So how many powers of 10 are in 10,000?
Slide 2.
How many, Elia?
What are they doing?
How many?
Let's look at number 6.
Is that a 4?
4.
4, thank you.
Yeah,
Ariana?
6.
They're doing the assignment. So 1 million equals 10 to the power of, good Dylan, 6. Okay, what patterns do you see between the powers of 10? How do you know what your exponent is? However many what? Zeros. Good, because it's a power of 10, okay?
Do you have 10 in there?
Okay.
Now, I want you to raise your hand.
Okay, now let's try convert units. Let's write it down. Ready?
And I want you to say, I need help.
Okay. Who remembers how many meters are in 1 kilometer?
See hand raised there? Like, do you see a button where it tells you?
How many meters are in 1 kilometer? Does anybody remember?
Okay, I'm going to go with someone.
Thank Alejandro. There's 1,000. Write it down, please.
I have no idea who you are. I know
Write it down on your whiteboard.
who you are. Okay?
So 1 km equals 1,000 meters.
So you don't really know who you're going to know. So I'm going to go to whoever's
1
already
km.
Okay. So I need help that they need help in, because that's the question I'm on. But sometimes it's hard to tell. So whoever this one is, could you put a question mark?
Okay,
by
so
where
then
you need help?
1. Thank you, Alejandro. 1. It's okay.
Okay, so he put
1
you see this
kilogram
there? Like, I
equals blank grams.
put a question mark to tell me how to solve it.
1 kilogram equals blank grams. Does anybody remember? Dylan?
Okay, so now I'm
Close. Ariana?
Stay over here, guys. Stay over
1,000.
here. So I'm going to insert a text box, which you should be able to do, but it's going to cover his.
Write it down.
So that's kind of important.
1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams.
So I did that. And maybe that will trigger his memory of what the centimeter and his memory is, right? Okay, so I'm done. Now So that's the biggest thing. Another way you can help is you take your voice. See this voice one? You take your voice.
Son mil.
When you have the answer right, and you stop helping them,
Yes.
I need you to delete it out.
Oh, well, make it out.
Because it covers their thing. Is it covering your thing?
The next one.
Yeah.
So 1 liter equals blank milliliters. 1,000. Good, Dylan.
Let me show you that.
You're on a roll. Yes, Ariana.
I know, but you can't delete it. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna put.
100.
Okay, so 1 meter equals how many centimeters?
100.
100.
Now let me see your problem.
Okay.
Now look how
Ready?
his Chromebook looks.
Okay, good job.
Why are you on there?
So let's skip application problem. We did that yesterday. So now let's try these problems again, okay?
Remember that because now his screen is blocked. You can't delete it.
I don't want that
That
one.
is the most important thing if we decide to help someone else. That you don't need the help there.
Okay, so now I'm going to write a problem on the board and I want us to solve it together using equations, okay? So now if we have 2 meters,
Go back to slide one.
okay, write it down, 2 meters
Okay, and whoever has their
And yeah.
hands, maybe take their hands down.
equals
And put your
blank
hand up if you need them.
centimeters. Okay, let's write an equation. First, let's write what we know. So we know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? You remember this.
Yes, from yesterday.
So now if we have 2 meters, we could use multiplication or division to solve this. So if we're starting with meters, we're starting, if we had 1, we would be starting with a low number. Elian, eyes over here. And if we're going to change it to centimeters, is our number going to get bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
It's going from 1 to 100. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger because it has a lot more smaller units. Does that make sense? Okay, so if our digit is going to get bigger, we're going to need to multiply. And yeah. So we can do 2 meters times, we're multiplying because our number is going to get larger. And then we're going to multiply by this unit. So how many? 100. Okay, 2 meters times 100, which equals, so how much is 2 copies of 100? Thank you, Ariana. 200. You have to solve it. Come on. 2 times 100 equals 200. But now we're not using the meters, right? We converted the meters into centimeters. So now our unit is centimeters, our measurement unit. Okay, this is our answer. So now we can plug this in right here.
2
Good. Okay, on the next one, on your problem set paper, it's going to ask you for this, and it's going to ask you for your equation, but with a power of 10, so an exponent. So how can we rewrite this as a power of 10? 10 to the power of 2. So we can write it as 2 liters times 10 to the power of 2 equals 200 centimeters. On your problem set, this is an answer, and this is an answer. Okay? These are both answers for your problem set when you get to it. Okay, let's try another one. Ready? Wipe off your board. Make sure you keep this on there, though. Let me move it down here. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters.
So this is going to be really important.
Okay? So now let's do let's do 1,370 meters or millimeters. I'm sorry. Equal to centimeters.
Oh, this hurts.
1,370 millimeters equal to centimeters. Okay, so we know meters and centimeters, but we don't have written down millimeters to centimeters. Okay, so that's when you're going to need to look at your chart, okay? So what would we need to multiply it by to change it to centimeters? Or divide, multiply or divide. 10? We would need 10 more, right? So there's 10 millimeters equal to 1 centimeter. Okay? Any eyes up here? Okay, so if we're starting at millimeters, ready? So I'm starting at millimeters, and we're going to change it to centimeters. So is our digit value going to get bigger or smaller? We're starting here. Good, Thomas. It's getting smaller, right? So are we going to multiply or divide?
Divide.
Divide. Thank you, Thomas. Write it down, Elian.
Oh, this thing.
Okay, so we're going to have 1,370 millimeters divided by 10. Okay? Okay. So now, let's divide. Ready? So if we have our place value chart, and we have 1,370, and here would be our decimal, and we're dividing by 10, perfect. We're going to shift how many times?
A lot.
One time. To the left or to the right? To the right. Okay, so one jump, drop it down. One jump, drop it down. Don't forget your decimal. One jump, drop it down. One jump, drop it down.
Yes,
Okay, so what do we have now?
137.
137. What's our measurement unit? What did we convert to?
Just convert
What did we change it to?
from centimeters.
Centimeters. 137 centimeters. Okay, so that's what you would plug in your problem to answer right there, okay?
What problems?
When you have one on that one exactly, sorry. Let me click divide, of course. So this is kind of rhymes, right? So they're talking about a big unit. Okay. Let's try about one or two more. So go ahead and wipe off your whiteboards. Elian, ready? Let me find the problem. Okay, this one. Ready? Okay, a ribbon measures, Emma, eyes up here, 4 and 5/10 meters. Okay, so we know we have a ribbon that is 4 and 5/10 meters. Write it down. 4 and 5/10 meters. its length to centimeters. So convert means you're going to change it. But you're not just going to say, oh, I'm just going to change this and put cm. That's not right, okay? So we're starting with 4 and 5/10 meters. We need to convert it to what measurement unit? Centimeters. So that's cm. Okay, first let's write our equation, okay? So if we're starting with 4 and 5/10 meters, we need to figure out if we're going to multiply or divide, okay? So let's look at this one, because we're going from meters to centimeters, meters to centimeters. So if we're starting with meters, eyes up here, we're changing it to centimeters, we're converting it to centimeters. Is the digit going to get bigger or smaller? We're going from 1 to 100. Bigger. So are we going to multiply or divide? Multiply. So now we need to multiply by? No, 100. Because there's 100 centimeters and 1 meter. Or multiply by 10 to the power of 2, okay? Okay, so now if we have 4 and 5/10 in a place value chart, okay, how many powers of 10 are there? How many powers of 10 do we have in 100?
We have 2.
We have 2. Thank you, Thomas. So we're going to shift how many times? 2 times. To the left or to the right? To the left, because it needs to get bigger, remember? Okay, ready? 1, 2. Next digit. 1, 2. Okay, I don't have any more digits to shift, so I have a blank. So what do we need as a placeholder? 0. Now we're done. This is our answer, 450. $450, which we converted, is now what measurement unit? Centimeters. Thank you, Alejandro. Elian, la pizarra encima del escritorio. Okay, ready? Okay, now let's try some from problem set. So look at your problem set paper. Oops.
I need my Bible.
So I'm not gonna be in here, guys. You're gonna have to help each other.
Okay,
Something rabbit.
so problem set paper, Elian.
They don't want you
Yeah.
not knowing. They don't want you to know.
Okay, number 1A. So you will need your pencil, so take out your pencil as well. Thank you, Alejandra. I like how you grabbed your other book as well. Okay, convert and write an equation with an exponent. Use your meter strip when it helps you. So the meter strip, what we know from that is that 1 meter is equal to how many centimeters? 100. Thank you, Alejandro. We know from our meter strip that we did yesterday, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, okay? Good, Elian. Thank you, Dylan.
You need a pencil?
Yes. Okay, so problem A has been done for you. So 3 meters is changed, is converted to centimeters. So 3 meters is equal to 300 centimeters. How did they get that? They got that by, they started with meters, converted to centimeters, so they multiplied 3 times 10 to the power of 2. Galvanize over here. Which equals 300. Okay, same steps. Ready? Next one. So 105 centimeters, 2 meters. Okay, so we're starting with centimeters. We're converting to meters. So if we're starting with 100 centimeters and we convert it to 1 meter, is our digits going to get bigger or smaller? Smaller. So are we going to multiply or divide? Ariana?
I have a question.
About this one? Okay, hold on. Are we going to multiply or divide?
But it's about
We're going to divide. Okay, so we're going to divide 105. Write it down. Divided by 100, or 10 to the power of 2. Okay? You just need a pencil, Dilla. And ya lo estamos haciendo juntos. We're on number 1. Okay, so solve that one. Go.
How many
So 1 meter. Okay, so use your place value chart when you need it. So if we have 105, our decimal would be here, right? Because that's 5 ones, 0 10, 100. And we're dividing by 10 to the power of 2. So we're shifting 2 times for 2 powers of 10. And since we're dividing, we're shifting to the right. 1, 2, 1, oh my goodness, 1, 2, and 1, 2.
to the left?
Since you're dividing to the right.
This one? No, that looks right. Yeah. So if you have 1 whole and you times it by 1,000, you would have 1,000. So you have 1,000.
Now, if someone doesn't notice your hand, you know, you can always use your voice to identify directly if something with your hand.
I got the answer. I got it. I got it.
It's in millimeters. Not 50. Second number is always the number the first. Is that zero at the end? Okay.
One and 500. Keep going on the next ones if you know you've got it. Ready? You don't have to wait for me while I'm checking everybody else. Okay, next one. C. 1 and 6800 meters to centimeters. So you're converting meters to centimeters. Marley, do the next one. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so here in this blank we need to plug in what we're starting with. So 1 and 6800 meters. Okay, now let's figure out our equation so that we can convert it to centimeters. So our first part is always what we're starting with. So 1 and 6800. Write it down. Good job, Dylan. So now we need to think about if we're going to multiply or divide. So if we're starting with meters and we're changing to centimeters, we're starting with meters. We're going to change to centimeters. So is our value or digit going to get bigger or smaller? We're starting at 1. It changes to 100. Bigger. So are we going to multiply or divide?
Multiply by 100.
Multiply by 100.
And then
Thank you,
you
Meredith.
get something answer.
Okay, then you get something. So let's figure out that something. If we need to use your place value chart, then use your place value chart on your plastic. So we have 1 and 6800. One and 6800 on your place value chart. Dylan. On the other one.
Raise your hand and help each other when you need it.
1, 6/10, 800. Write it down. 1, 6/10, 800. Okay, so now what do we know we're going to do with our 100, which should be our 10 to the power of 2. Sorry. Even I forget sometimes. Dylan. 2 shifts. Thank you. To the left or to the right?
You do the other
Beautiful.
side.
To the left. Okay, starting on the left side. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2. Bring it down right here. Okay, next one. 2 shifts. 1, 2. Bring it down right here.
800.
Next one. 1, 2. Bring it down right here. Dylan, what do we have?
868.
Close. 168. Is that what you said? I couldn't hear you. Okay, thank you. So now we know 1 and 6800 meters is equal to 168 centimeters. So now we can write that in right here as well. 168 as our equation. Okay. you feel ready to do 2 on your own on here? No? Okay. Let's do 1 more and then I want you to try 2 more. Alright. Same steps, okay? So our first step, what are we going to do? So it says 80 centimeters, 2 meters. So now let's start our equation. What are we starting with? We're starting with 80. Write it down. We're starting with 80. Write it down. Okay, so if we're starting with centimeters, because next thing we need to figure out is if we're going to multiply or divide. So we're starting with centimeters, and we're changing to meters. So is the number here getting bigger or smaller? Smaller. So are we going to multiply or divide? If we multiply, is our number get smaller? Elian, over here. Multiply or divide? Marley, I see here. Multiply or divide? Divide, because we need to get smaller numbers. Because we have bigger units, so we don't need as many of meters. Okay, we're going to divide by 100 or 10 to the power of 2. Okay, so now let's use our place value chart. We have 80. Okay, so what are we going to do?
You have to divide.
We have to divide. So are we going left or right?
Right.
Right. How many shifts?
1.
Not 1.
Go.
How many powers of 10? 2. So 2 shifts, okay? Ready? Starting on the right side. 1, 2. Okay, next one. 1, 2. Don't forget to bring down your decimal. Okay, do we need to keep shifting? Nope, we're done. That's our answer. So equals 0.80. 80 hundredths. So that's like 80 cents. So let's finish this up right here. So 80 centimeters equals 80 hundredths meters. Okay? Okay, now I want you to look at number 2. So for problem number 2, it is the same kind of problems. I don't have paper.
Yes, it is a great thing.
Okay, so for problem number 2, the only thing that's different is that you have meters to millimeters, okay, or millimeters to meters. So let's write down what we know. Just like we know this, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 meter is equal to how many millimeters? So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Dylan, turn around. And 1 meter is equal to how many millimeters? 1. Ariana?
Can I go to the bathroom?
How many millimeters are in 1 meter? Thank you, Ariana. There's 1,000. That's what this is for. 1,000 millimeters. Okay. You need to do work on your own. So you need to finish up Number 1, E, F, G. And we need to finish up number 2. Number 1 and number 2.